On the Disruptive Voices of the Pacific today, we're having a conversation about a really important conference that's coming up in Suva in June. And with me is my good friend Ella, who is one of the main organisers of the Breaking the Silence, Be the Voice conference. And Breaking the Silence is a group that I work really closely with when I'm in Fiji, because that's what we're all about, is disrupting the silence. And it's great. I just get to lend my voice to local groups that are just doing exceptional work. So thank you, Ella, for being with us today.
Vinaka Letitia, it's good to be here.
Yes. So maybe just tell us a bit of who you are before we get into BTS and the conference. But yeah, tell us a little bit of your background.
Vinaka Letitia, very quickly, I'm Ella, like Letitia has shared. I'm a mother. We have 3 children. 2 are married and live away. And Layla, who is also part of Breaking the Silence Fiji, is here with me right now. We've just returned home from living in countries in Africa, and my husband's retired, so it's good that we're home just in time for Breaking the Silence conference this year.
Yeah.
And so happy to be here today, Vinaka.
That's amazing. And that's where I first met you, on a Zoom during COVID when you were over in Africa. And I didn't realize you'd even returned to Fiji. And then we bumped into each other last year. So that was a beautiful surprise, and so glad that you've returned back to Fiji to really lend your passion and your voice into what Breaking the Silence is doing. So maybe, again, just who is Breaking the Silence? How did they start?
Vinaka Letitia, Breaking the Silence Fiji is a non-NGO registered organization. We had a conference in 2013 at the same venue, at the Vodafone Arena. We had about 1,200 participants, and we registered the organization when a number of ladies who attended and who led the conference got together and realized that we needed to keep the momentum. Yeah, keep the momentum and raise our voices together, unite to bring an end to abuse in Fiji, in the local communities especially. So that is what we did in 2015. We had BTS Fiji, Breaking the Silence Fiji, registered. And from then on, we've been going to the communities, raising our voices, working with leaders, teachers, and village headmen. And they call them the Nasivakoro, or the local nurse, just speaking and spreading the word, good word, that there is hope, there is help for those who are caught in abusive relationships, and really just working together with the local women and whoever avails themselves. So it has been good, Letitia. BTS is still growing, and we spreading the word. We're spreading the word, and it's so good to be working alongside you as well. Yeah.
No, it's great, and I'm probably more focused in the larger towns and cities, but I love that you're out there in the communities, because that's where a lot of the grassroots women are. And so you're going in there, you're doing awareness, you're even taking police in, so that if women need to report right then and there, they're able to, because sometimes it's just, where do I report and who to, is part of the issue. What has been the response from the women in the communities been when you've gone in and held these sessions?
Yeah, that's correct, Letitia. When we go, we usually take a bucket of biscuit. We don't want to focus on eating. So we take a bucket of biscuit, and the ladies come with the kettle, the hot water, and we have a cup of tea. We sit around and we share. We try and channel them to the right source, to the police and to the doctors and the nurses. And we try as much as we can to do whatever we can to help. And also with the children, there's a lot of response, a good response from the children especially, and the young people. That is a new we are fairly new in that area, but I've been able to attend 2 conferences in Thailand, attended 2 conferences, and the focus was on children, giving help to the children and the young people in the community. So that is good. So we don't have a lot of resources, but we realize just sitting down in the local communities, places like Kalekana in Gawia, in Nakelo outside of Nosori, and in Kinoya. There's a little community in Kinoya. Just sitting down and listening to them and taking note of their stories and just helping in whatever way we can. It's been amazing. Thank you, Letitia.
That's beautiful. Just listening, we forget the absolute importance of just listening. Listening to people's stories, their hurt, their pain, that's always the first step in healing. So we love what you do in that way. And you've held a few bigger events, and I managed to be in Suva at the times when you've held some different breakfasts right in Suva, which again has been a great gathering of women, because you're interdenominational. You're not run by any church. You're just interdenominational. It's open to anyone. And it's always been great to see some men, because we need men's voices in this space as well. So, yeah, your first conference was a number of years ago with over 1,000 women. That's just incredible. What happened at that conference? What speakers did you have, and what did you discuss?
Okay. That conference, Renee West, our speaker again this year, and of course you will be speaking this year as well. Renee West was our guest speaker, and we provided help to those who are suffering quietly in their homes, in their villages. They came out and received counseling. Quite a number of them we were able to refer them to other organizations. There were police reports that we were able to, unreported cases, able to report, because we had the Department of Police with us. And even those who needed medical treatment, we were with the help of the doctors that are on the BTS team, we were able to connect them so that they could get medical treatment for themselves. So those are some of the services that we provide, and most importantly, counseling. We have a few professional counselors on the team as well, who provide counseling free of charge, and also during the conference, and also on our community outreaches. It's so important, because some of them are young people and even mothers. They come forward and they ask for help, to speak out for the first time about their abuse. And it's so important, that we have these counselors with us each time, and the medical professionals as well, and the policemen. So important that we take them along. Yeah.
And I love that it's just not a conference where they receive a whole lot of information, but there's actually practical help. Counselling, having the police, the nurses, is just so important. So thank you for that. And again, this year in June, you're really hoping again to have over 1,000 women. I know you're sending buses out to the communities and different groups doing whatever it takes to get them in. So what is your main purpose? What do you hope to achieve this year?
Letitia, this year we'd like to bring in as many people out there, especially from the rural areas, from those areas where we have conducted our community outreaches, to come for training, so that we are able to give them manual, give them the training that they need, so that we multiply ourselves, so that we can send them out, train them and send them out, so they can do the work that we're doing here, because there's only a few of us and only so much we can do. But if we bring them in and train them, give them the information that they need, the manuals that they need, the teaching and whatever they need. Give them the opportunity to meet with other stakeholders, connect with new friends, people who are doing this same work or similar work on the ground already. We hope, we can expand the work of breaking the silence in Fiji. And like you said, Letitia, men and women, young people, children are invited as well.
Yeah. No, that's great. And there certainly is a culture of silence, and just taboo and sweeping things under the rug. And quite often, which is different to my culture, if you do speak up and report Uncle Johnny, that might mean that the rest of the family disown you, even though what he's done, he's the perpetrator. But the pressure from families and communities and villages to stay silent is huge. So it really takes a lot of courage to break the silence, doesn't it?
Correct, Letitia.
Yeah.
Sorry, Letitia.
Are you finding that, just through that women are gaining courage, I guess, from the movement and beginning to speak up more, or is there still a long way to go?
I think there's still a long way to go, but every little help, every meeting, every conference, every workshop is a big help. Is how do you say it? Is the right step? Is a good step? Is a great step in the right direction. Yes. Yeah. So we're just hoping, even for the visits to the communities, even when we chat with the little children, we hope, that they will just not listen, but one day they will, the children will stand up as well and be advocates. They will hop on and be partners, be our partners when we go out there to the community. It's difficult. It's really difficult, but we haven't lost hope. We know that more and more people are standing up. I don't know whether you watched Facebook. There was a Facebook Live, and the video has gone viral of this lady and her children. That is our. I called her and I said to her, I'm so proud of you. Well, she's breaking the silence now. She'll be at the conference. I just said to her, I'm so proud of you. You raised your voice. And when you raise your voice and when you speak out against abuse, against the authorities, because she spoke against the Department of Police, and the gentlemen are being investigated right now. So I said to her, you're a very brave woman, very courageous. I take my hat off to you. Yeah, I hope other women will watch your video and, gather the strength to speak out as well. Yeah. Because when we speak out, we don't just voice our concerns, but we speak out for the women out there who aren't able to speak for some reasons. Yeah, best known to them. Yeah.
Yep, and that's what the Bible calls us to do, speak for those who have no voice. And yeah, she was very bold. And I love that. And I think that's what platforms like this does. And I hear I have many women contact me who say they found much hope and encouraged from listening to so-and-so's story. But then imagine 1,000 women plus men, children together at the Vodafone Arena being empowered. This is what it takes. Our silence is just so evil. Silence when there is evil and abuse and power and control going on is just evil. And we've really got to break this culture of silence. And when you break something, you smash it into pieces so it can never return. Because it's destroying our young people. So I honour you and just so happy to be a part of breaking the silence. How did you, Ella, get involved in this organisation?
Letitia, we in the years leading up to 2013, as part of the Assemblies of God Women's Ministry, we were going from village to village, in the Central Eastern Division, in the Northern, in the Maritime Division, in the Western Division. We were going to, year after year, we would go to the A20 or to Hillsong, Australia. And we connected with Christine Kane,
Great.
The 821 campaign, and we look forward to those trainings. And after some years, we realized, okay, let's start in Fiji on a proactive role. Let's not wait for that to come to Fiji. Well, it was already happening, but no one wanted to, to embrace human trafficking and all that back then. So we started, training and workshops, gathering women together. And so when we finished from that ministry, we decided that we would continue. And some of us survivors of abuse as well. So for me especially, I knew that this was what God was calling me to do. I had to step out, and I see it as an investment in the safety and the security of my children and my grandchildren as well. So it's not just work, it's an investment. I tell my friends and I tell my team at BTS, for me, I see it as an investment. Yeah.
Absolutely generational. And I was going to ask, because quite often what compels women to get involved in these issues is their own stories. So are you comfortable or willing to share a little bit of your story or what happened to you?
Of course, yes. I'm happy to do that, Letitia. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. When I was little, I was raised, more or less raised by my grandmother. My parents were government, they were civil servants, and they moved from township to township, from island to island. My father was a cooperative officer, and my mom was a teacher. They were very young couples. So it was, at that time, it was just me and my younger sister, Jane. And so we were, my grandmother cared for us while our parents traveled for work. And I was molested as a little child by the, young girls, children of our carers, our helper at home. And I was molested. Back then, I didn't understand what was happening to me. I felt it was wrong, but I was scared. I was afraid. I was afraid of my grandmother, and I was afraid as well, Letitia, that my helper was going to be sent back home to the village, and I wouldn't have friends. I wouldn't have anyone, to look after me. Already, my parents were away. We grew up well. We were well looked after. We had a home of our own. We had everything that we needed. But this was one thing that I struggled with for many years. Yeah, for many years. I grew to hate a lot of people. I was very angry. Later on, as I grew up, when I realized that I was molested. And those who molested me instilled fear upon me, and that I carried with me for many, many years. I didn't feel good enough. I felt dirty. I felt like I was a bad child. But thank God for counselors, for those who came along to help me and encouraged me. I took forever to come out. I took forever to speak out. But thank you, Letitia, for your guidance, for your help. Thank you for your books. And thank you for continuing to speak. Your voice is getting louder and louder. And now we hear you in the Pacific, not just Bella girls in the schools, but grandmothers like me. We have an opportunity to speak out as well. Today I work, or I do Breaking the Silence Fiji, because I hope and I pray that when I speak out and when I do the work that I do and help other people, that the children will not have to be molested in their homes. Yeah.
Yes, no, thank you, Ella. And I know we still have such a long way to go in that area. 4 out of 5 children are abused. Now, that's not all molestation, that's verbal and neglect and a whole range. But yeah, for someone like you who didn't understand what was going on, is this wrong? It feels a bit off. But because there was no awareness or nobody training you, speak up and get help. Yeah, it is something that we carry for many years. But praise the Lord that you've had the courage now to speak up and get the counselling and the help, and now you're fighting for future generations. So it's women like you and so many others in Fiji that it's just my privilege to provide a platform where people can speak, and just so we normalise speaking up. Is so important. So Ella, thank you so much. We really look forward to June 25th, 26th, 27th. I shall put a link along with this podcast of where you can register. It's only $25, I think, very minimal cost for a big conference, but that's because your team want to make it accessible as possible. I know you're looking for sponsorship and people to come along and help. So we might put your email up so people can contact you if need be as well. Any last words you'd like to give before we leave?
Letitia, I was speaking with Dr. Teresi the other day on her platform, and she asked me if there was one more word, and this is what I shared. I hope that as many women, men, and children, young people, come to the conference. This is not about the Assemblies of God. It's not about a particular denomination. It's not about breaking the silence, although we're piloting the project. We want everyone to come. Even if you don't go to church, that's perfectly okay. Please come. There's a place for you. There's help for you. There is hope. Come and let's work together to bring an end to abuse and violence against women and children in Fiji. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ella.